Hi everybody, David here from Living Tech. Thanks for joining me. A couple of years ago, I bought Tesla Model X winter car mats. And I was looking for something that would basically make it so that the footwells of my Model X didn't get wet every time there was slush, snow, or rain brought in. And so I bought these 1 by 1 inch hexagonal shaped cells in a rubber-like material. It's pretty hard rubber. On the bottom, there are rubber spikes. And the spikes hold the carpet nicely. These carpets will not wear out. So if you're dragging equipment or whatever over them all the time, then they're great for that. So I have nothing against them except for me, I wanted something that contained the snow better. I live in Canada and we get a lot of snow in the winter. So I had subsequently seen the type that go up the edges or the sides, of the footwell. And to me, those look like they would do a better job for what I needed. The other problems I had with the more rigid rubber ones that I currently have is that when I want to get into the section, which is right beside the trunk hatch as you open it up. It's the part where a normal car would have a gas tank. You know, you lift the little wooden platform and you tilt it and you can store groceries and such underneath there. So every time I would try and access that with my current mats, I'd have to roll the mats back and then that would expose the sharp spikes under the mat. So it's somewhat unwieldy there. In the colder weather, it's harder material, it's harder to roll, so it ends up being a bigger roll. It wants to keep rolling back. Anyway, it's a bit of a mess that way. And also when I would want to wash the mats, because each hexagonal cell has sort of sharp edges, it's a defined hexagon times 1,000 or however many are on them. And if you try and power wash, you have to sort of hit each angle, each of the 6 angles, and then you have to somehow get the slightly dirty water out of there. You end up wearing more of the water than is usefully clearing off the mats, and in that respect, it was a bit of a mess as well. So I was looking for car mats that, number one, would go up the sides of the footwell, at least in the front seats. Number two, would be easier to clean, power washing or otherwise. And number three, more wieldy when it comes to removing them, I guess, from the back, or moving them so I could get, for example, into the back storage section that I just mentioned. So anyway, the Tesla accessories manufacturer TopFit offered to send me their version of the Tesla Model X 6-seater winter mats. So that's what we're reviewing here today. Stick around, I'll have you out in 5 minutes, and hopefully this will be of value to you. By the way, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you are so inclined, and I'll see you in a second. Both the driver and passenger side mats each come in two parts. A bottom part which covers the bottom and sides of the footwell, and a top carpeted part which can be easily detached, cleaned, and reattached. This greatly simplifies cleaning of the front mats. Okay, so I initially installed these mats 2 months ago, something like that, and I decided I would install them, use them for a while under different use cases. I was doing some construction, had some, mud all over my shoes for about a month straight, and I wanted to see what it was like to actually live with them rather than just unboxing, installing, and saying, what I think. So anyway, I've done that. Yesterday I did the intro to this video, and yes, I got my haircut since, and today I'm doing the conclusions. In summary, these mats solved my 3 criteria. The first of those was that the mats extend up the sides of the footwells in the front seats, and that is because I wanted to contain snow. The second one is that I wanted easy installation and removal. These mats don't have the spikes on the bottom. They're not rigid like the other mats that I currently have, and they are very light. They still stay in place though, so that's obviously something I still need it. The third thing is that they're easy to clean. You pull them out because in the other mats they have the hexagonal cells, and the profile of those cells is sharp pieces of plastic going around, forming the 6 sides, and that made it hard to clean. Even if you go and power wash, you still have to, it looks great when you're power washing. When it dries, you see that there's still a bunch of dirt left in it. So these mats, in contrast, you can just clean with a cloth and they look great. So that's what I was looking for. If I had to say anything about the mats that wasn't perfect from the start, I didn't know the best way to use the portion of the mat that covers that back bottom compartment in the trunk. I now know how to use it, so it's no problem. But before, I was trying to, as I took that compartment out and inserted it on an angle, as you can do, say if you want to put groceries in, I was trying to keep the piece of the mat sort of on top of that as it slid in to be oriented on the angle. And it turns out it's much easier to just take the piece of the mat off, throw it on the top, and then access that back part as you normally would, rather than trying to keep the mat nicely on that piece of wood as you're using that back compartment. Anyway, that was an easy trade-off compared to having to roll the Tough Pro mats with their spikes, roll that back. In the winter, there's no way it would stay rolled back on its own. You'd have to prop something in front of it. And it was a bit of a mess, as I said earlier. Great mats, the Tough Pro mats, but not for my use case. So anyway, 5 stars for these mats. I love them. I was given these mats. I did not purchase them. I was given these mats, and my instructions were do whatever kind of review I like with these. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, please don't forget to click like. Please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more videos like it. And if you want to give these mats a try, I'll put a purchase link in the description below. Have a great day, and thanks again.